Hello everyone! In this video I will break down the first few videos with Kuro no Kiseki gameplay. Bear in mind that the game is still in development and some of the concepts shown here might change before release. Also, some of the content of this video is speculation and just my subjective perspective. Without further ado, let's get to it. Let's break down the individual character videos found on their profiles in the website. Starting with Van Arkwright, he is our main protagonist and he wields a weapon called a Stan Caliber. In this video, Van runs towards an enemy and starts the first attack in his combo. We can see here one of the main mechanics of the real-time combat part of the game. Enemies glow red before performing an attack. This is extremely similar to the combat scene in Tokyo Xanadu. After that, Van evades the attack and performs a 3-hit combo. After defeating the enemy, he moves towards another one and performs a strong attack which depletes his action bar. The enemy becomes stunned due to this attack and the party is able to finish it off. This stun effect is most likely related to this bar, shown above the enemy HP. Most likely, this bar is the break gauge seen in Cold Steel 3, 4 and Hajimari no Kiseki. Next, let's study Agnes' video. Since her weapon of choice is a normal staff, her attacks are mostly ranged. Agnes performs a few attacks and follows with her strong attack. Another interesting fact about this video is that there is an attack which only happens after evading. This can be described as kind of like a contextual animation. We can see this as well in Ferris's video, which showcases her using her assault saber. She seems to be a mixed range character, able to attack at a distance but also in close combat. Her normal combo seems to shoot bullets at the enemy. We can see her strong attack which pierces the enemy with her weapon. Once more, we see this different animation after performing a dodge action, in which Ferry launches herself in the air and towards the enemy. Finally, we can see Aaron's attack with his twin saber. His attacks are fast and acrobatic and seems to have a relatively large area of effect, often hitting several enemies. I couldn't find any new information about the mechanics of the game in this clip, so let me know in the comments if you spotted something else. Now, let's examine the longest video we have, which was posted under the System tab on the website. It starts with Van and Agnes in a field. We can take a good look at the HUD outside of battle. In the top left corner, we see the S-boost gauge and the character portraits. We can change between characters by pressing the L1 button, and that will be displayed later on. We can use the R1 button to run, and we can press the middle button to perform a field search, which might allow us to find items in the field. On the right side, we can see the minimap, and we can also use the right joystick to choose targets. As we get close to a group of enemies, the battle HUD appears. The available actions during combat are attack, map to circle, evade with X, and deploy shard, which we do not see in this video but is mapped to square. On the top right corner of the screen, a display shows information about the number of enemies nearby, as well as whether we are engaged in battle or not. We can change targets using the right joystick and toggle the lock with R3. Once the player is engaged in combat, the triangle button will open the battle menu, which changes the real-time gameplay to an ATB command-based gameplay. This will be shown later on. The player and enemy status display the corresponding level, and we also know whether we are higher or equal to the enemy by a small symbol. The player status shows us our HP, our action bar, and also 2 bars of CP. The enemy status shows us HP and the break gauge. The opening move sees Van jumping towards an enemy and starting the conflict, which makes me think that this action is either a preemptive move or a contextual animation due to the player running towards the enemy. Notice that some of Van's attacks in this clip show a green after effect instead of the blue ones we've seen before. This seems to happen at random, which makes me think it might be the effect of some of the quartz equipped in his ornament. This could be some kind of random status effect or some elemental boost. Also, this poor enemy just blips out of existence without a death animation. Poor guy. The player moves into the forest and engages a group of enemies. This is the first time we see the player changing from a real-time based combat into turn-based combat. As a quick note, notice that Van still receives damage when changing into turn-based mode. In turn-based mode, we still see the classic ATB system, but it's divided into left and right side, both for the party and enemies. From several images, we see that the ATB bonuses are back as well. I spotted HP up, CP up, critical and boost up. The next turn is signaled with an X sign to somehow keep track of turn orders. On the left side of the HUD, we can see our party's status, showing HP, EP and CP, and in the corner is the new command style. Items are mapped to the triangle button and S boost to the square button. In another screenshot, we can see that once S boost is activated, it can also be cancelled with the square button. The player can choose now between 3 different types of commands by using the L1 and R1 buttons. We can choose between crafts, arts, and standard actions such as attack and defense. The base damage of a standard attack seems to be in the same ballpark as a 3-move combo in real time, based on the player and the enemy levels. Agnes opens her arts menu and we can see some familiar names in the list. She can use Firebolt, the 3-tier healing arts, and Spark Edge. Another interesting detail is the small shape to the right. This represents the range and shape of the attacks. Tier is a single target spell, for example, but we can see that Firebolt has a more circular range around the enemy. We can take a look at Van's crafts. He selects Stun Slash, which has a triangular range to its right, and it matches the hitbox shown in the field. The other crafts that we can see are Aerial Buster with a circular shape, and Coin Ballet, which seems to have a triangular shape as well. From promotional images, we see that Van also has a craft named roughly Azure Punch, and Agnes has Etoile Ray as a revealed craft. 2 more interesting things happen as the player moves Agnes close to Van. We can see a pop-up message displaying both side and back close to the enemy, as well as a weak sign. It seems that positioning with respect to the enemy will play a big role in Kuro no Kiseki. Finally, as Agnes is within a small range of Van, we can see a special effect popping up. Party members within range will help each other and strengthen their attacks or arts. We see a demonstration of the SCLM chain here when Van follows up on an attack from Agnes. This is very similar to the Link system from the Cold Steel series. Finally, as a small detail, party members seem to have individual rest animations while in the turn-based mode. We can see Van stretching his neck while waiting for Agnes to attack. And that concludes my breakdown of the Kuro no Kiseki gameplay we have seen. Thank you for watching and do not forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I will release more breakdown videos as we get closer to the release date of the game. Hope everyone has a great day and I will see you next time.